processing.
Start by writing application. So I just so what you're going to do is you're going to rearrange and orientate 3 times, depending on the restaurant full time. And then searching in the orientate, you'll look at the first one, just go to the middle, down, find your seat. Okay. Next one, go to the middle, down, find your seat. What you're doing. Okay. So for now, pushing. We're all kind of like this. I'm in the middle. You two here. No, just like this. You face out. Face this way.
Yeah.
Stand like this. Face on you. Just like perfect. Stay right. There's a lot of things because you could be 10 deep with the central and doshi, the first two. So you lead. I lead, and I'll turn the back and say, okay, well, what do you need? Do it 3 times. And I'll ring the bell and all that. And then it's going to be 50%. Please place your hands in Hokai Join, Cosmic Ramuja. We will begin with some silent meditation before the sermon today. Good morning, everybody. All right. If you would mind just taking a little bag, the little sandbag behind the door there, and just kind of propping it. So again, good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Today, I would like to start by telling a story. A a story about a fisherman in Mexico. And so there was a fisherman who lived in Mexico, and he had a lovely wife and a child. They did not make a lot of money. They had a very small home, but he had a boat, and he had a charter business, and he loved fishing. He loved to fish every day, and he would take wealthy foreigners out for fishing excursions. So one day he takes a very, very wealthy CEO from a company in New York City. And this wealthy CEO has such a wonderful time. He decides that he wants to help this fisherman. So he starts giving him advice because, as a CEO, the thing that he has the most of is knowledge. So he goes to this fisherman advice, and he says, this thing you've got going is pretty good. It's pretty awesome. He's like, but I noticed you lived in a small house. If you had another boat or a bigger boat, you could take more people out. You could have more money. Fisherman's like, and then what? What I do? Oh well, if you got a bigger boat, well then you can take more people, and then you get more money, and then more people want to go, so then you get a second. Oh. And then what? Well, if you have a second boat, then you can hire a bunch of local people. You can employ a bunch of people. Oh. And then what? Well, you could build it into a company, like I have, like a big company. Oh. And then what? Well, you could have a bigger house. Oh. And then what? Well, you could have a car. You could have a bunch of cars. Oh, okay. And then what? He's like, well, and then you could start a company, and then in the end, you could retire, and then you could go on fishing expeditions just like me. Oh. Why wouldn't I want to just stay doing exactly what I'm doing? So the story is to remind us that we spend our lives trying to acquire things, but when you ask people what they want, people will say, I want happiness and security. More times than not, that's what people say that they want. And they think that the more that we accumulate, the happier and the more secure we will be. Scientifically, there have been studies that have shown that this may not be true. Scientifically, they figured out through a series of longitudinal studies over a long period of time that that making more money does not, and having more things actually causes more anxiety in people and more stress. They've actually, believe it or not, figured out the optimal amount of money that we should all make, or that brings the most contentment, and that's $50,000, apparently. That at $50,000, you have just enough that you're not stressed about making, but not enough that you are having to maintain things that you have to defend. So, for example, I have a small apartment, a one-room studio, and the irony that I experience every time I bring my friends over who have big giant houses is they all say, "Oh God, I envy you. There's such a tiny little apartment. I could get this clean in 30 minutes. I got a whole giant house. It takes me forever. I have to hire a person to come and help me, or the place just stays dirty. I got whole rooms I never even go into." Like, oh, really? When we focus on finding happiness externally, we inevitably end up disappointed and confused as to why it is that thing that I was just certain that if I got it was going to make me happy isn't making me happy. What the heck is going on? Like,
because you got it, and then what?
Yeah.
You got it, and then what?
And then what?
And then what?
So we spend a lot of our lives looking at where we're at and thinking, oh, I don't want to be here. I want to be over there. I want more of what that person over there has because I don't have that. It looks like they're having a grand time with that. I want that. But Buddhism teaches us that we have to seek contentment in the moment. Well, that means in the moment with what we have. It's not that wanting is bad. There's nothing wrong with craving. But it's craving for things that don't last, that cause us suffering. You have to have some desire, otherwise you wouldn't be here. That even if it's the desire for enlightenment. But it's what do we crave? What do we value in the end? When we are on our deathbeds, what will we value? Will we lament all the things we didn't get, or will we lament all the people we didn't get to speak to or to talk to? Human life and experience. So, this week, think about your cravings. And what I mean by that is when you say, oh, I wish I didn't have this, or I wish I had that. Ask yourself, why? What would I do with this? What next? Is this of value? And so I've said many times, and I'll say again, that the Buddha said that on the surface, when we first learned about Buddhism, we learned that all life is discontentment. All life is craving for something you haven't got right now. And that the source of that is attachment to things that don't last. But in the end, true suffering is not having the Dharma. It's not having the teaching of the method to remind you that, oh, there's a different value system that I can put on this. I can value different things that last. What is that thing that lasts? Besides even Buddha nature, it's understanding that we're doing all of this not for ourselves, but for everybody else. That any struggle or feeling that we have is the struggle or feeling that somebody else is having as well. We're not alone in this journey. So, the purpose of your practice every day isn't just for you to get something out of it, isn't just for you to get better. The purpose of your practice is to help other beings. That's why we're doing all this. We're literally trying to change the world around us. We're trying to inspire people to reach their highest potential and realize that what you have now is good enough. You know, I don't know about you guys, but sometimes the thing that's the most difficult is when I can go eat anything I want. And I'm like, oh God, what do I want? And sometimes the most satisfying meals for me are the ones where I was like, oh God, what do I got?
Right.
You know, and I end up making a crazy meal and I'm like, I don't know how strawberries and jerky go together, but boy, that turned out really amazing. And so the next time you're really struggling and you're like, God, why me? You know, realize that it is struggle that provides the spice of life, the salt and pepper. Right? And less is more. And in the end, if you are working 40 hours a week to pay for your big house,
you're not living.
You're not really living. You know? Time is something that you cannot get back. The Chinese have a saying that says an
inch of time is worth a foot of jade. So what are you spending your time on? It's all about a matter of values and what's important. You know, we constantly sequester ourselves in big houses away from each other. You'd think that the bigger the house, maybe, you know, like people would spend more time together talking occasionally, but the truth is, poor people have better family relationships simply because they're forced to. When you live in a small space, you have to get along with people. They have found that the communities in high-rises for lower socioeconomic people have, at times, much closer relationships because everybody shares the elevator. And they have to constantly interact with each other. So you have to create a sense of community. But when we start insulating ourselves in our big cars, and then even in our big houses, whole families don't see each other. Everybody goes their separate ways, they're in different rooms, nobody talks, nobody communicates. So again, it's start all. That's where happiness lies, I think. And contentment is not pushing away struggle. You know, it's embracing it with a smile and laughing at the absurdity of tragedy. I kind of rambled in a circle today, but these are, you know, all week long I think about the sermon and I look for common themes that keep coming up. And this week, the theme that kept coming up was to be happy with what you have, to not wish for more. That usually when you get more, you're not satisfied with it. You're not any happier. And more times than not, now you got more to defend, and now you're actually worried about losing stuff. So practice this week, every day. I don't care if it's 1 minute of chanting. Practice every day. That is the point. That is what alleviates suffering.
Really,
So we'll be doing Shoeizan today. Next week is our Okigan service. We also have our meeting. So we'll be having our yearly open to Sangha meeting. What else do we have? The congregation, the Sangha from Buffalo is coming with Shami Kanjo, as well as lay leaders in Toku, also known as Kai. Please place your hands in the gashro. Right. Dojo Pan, receiving the dojo. Know this place in which we find ourselves now is a dojo, a place of Buddhist training. All Buddhas come to this place and attain perfect enlightenment. All Buddhas come to this place and turn the wheel of the Dharma. All Buddhas come to this place and enter into Nirvana. Onmon Sanki, the three treasures. It is difficult to be born as a human being. I have now realized such a birth. To hear the teaching of the Buddha is difficult. I have now been able to hear it. I take refuge in the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. Namu. meditation to center and calm the mind and body so that we may chant the old Namu. Shogyo, chanting the old Daimoku. Please place your hands on your shoulders. Thankful prayer. I respect you deeply. You will all be able to practice the way of bodhisattvas and become Buddhas. May the merits we have accumulated by this offering be distributed among all living beings, and may I and all other living beings obtain the enlightenment of the Buddha. Today we remember in memoriam remember in memoriam Amy and Maria Valentin, Jean Knopp, Julia Petrakowski, Cheryl Sissy Jones, Stella, Ming Chi, Scoot, and Shay the dogs, Maggie Herman, Elaine and Joe Winter, Jack Parker, Terry Paquin, Bill Mears Sensei, Aunt Barbara, Kazuko Jordan, Cheryl Cushman, Patrick Scanlon, Don Robinson's husband, Mother Coleman, Phyllis Stevens, Robert Rose, Maurice Sprague, Jared Lovejoy, Reese Pilatus, Rebecca Marsudian, Jake Marsudian, Aunt Paula, as well as her family, her husband, Jim and the Benuski family, Johnson Kala, Maria, Katasha Spencer, Peter Shank, and James Smokey Robinson. We also remember those in sickness and distress. We remember Lisa Simmons and Carmen Laverne, Damien Reddick and Wendy Prevost, Jason Wellman and Jesse Schaefer, Lotus Meshi and David Mills, Gail Bull, Dave Watson, Beth Watson, Gabe Benitez, Victoria, Jesse Travis Burnham, Dawn Robinson, Jamie Logan, Dennis Sullivan, Pat Sullivan, Julie Rose, Dolly Abad Ritchie, Eric Lynn Hillsman, Michael Dean Ritchie, Linda Williams, Sam Phillips, Delana Hefner, John H. Shope, Aunt Margie Benuski, Bill Maston, Uncle Martin, Rudy Callahan Day, Jessica, Kelly Guldani, Keisha Kazmarski, Cindy Smith, and we also pray for Luther Smart. Namu Right. Please place your hands in Hokai Join. This week again, my son. Thank you all very much. Please remember that next week we'll be celebrating Wokigan. We will also be renewing our list of those that we prayed for in memoriam and those in sickness and distress. So if you have someone that you wish to remain on the list, please, next week we'll be starting a new list. So let's make sure that we go on here. We have our annual meeting next week after services, as well as a visit from the Buffalo Sangha and Shaman Kanjo will be assisting with services, and Zentoku
Kyle Meeker will also be here, and we'll have a nice meal afterwards as usual. Does anyone have any announcements that they would like to make about anything? I should have heard any announcements that the board needs to make.
If you haven't already, annual dues for the year, we'll be going over the budget next week as well. So if you want to know more about where we put funds that you guys donate to the temple, please try to participate in that. And everyone is welcome. You can, if you are an annual dues paying member, you get a vote in our actual and both elections for the members that we have, but also in what budget we decide to go with.
So for those of you who don't know, we do have a membership fee, a yearly membership fee. And the reason that we have a yearly membership fee is that we feel that people who vote on the temple business should have some skin in the game. We ask for $120 a year. That comes to $10 a Sunday. It doesn't have to be given in cash. It can be given in service or trade. If you bought flowers for the temple, that would be considered part of your dues. If you bought rice for the temple, that would be considered part of your dues. Anything that you donate is wonderful. We very much appreciate it. Even a penny is meritorious, and we truly, truly appreciate it. For voting purposes, we do the $120 as our yearly. And it can be paid out over the course of a whole year, with the stipulation that you do it, or it can be paid all at once. So, thank you so much.
For those who don't know, we have food.
Yes, we have.
You can smell it.
Let's please put the chairs that we don't need to use for lunch away, and then we'll take our picture for the day.
I'll take a picture.
Yes, I forgot.
I'm gonna take a picture.
That's a good middle path. I mean,
Oh, that is a good picture, okay. You always like get the weirdest freaking pictures of me.
Oh,
this is trying to get a
picture.
I know. That'll be from the studio tree. Yeah, 1, 2, 3.
your orders.
First
First time I've ever seen before I was published. One was kind of clear, slightly perfect. Yeah, it was like all around it was.
It does smell good, doesn't it?
Let's do our picture.
All right,
This
let's
right
get
here,
our
this thing, the
picture.
rice cooker.
And it's good.
That's a beautiful picture. It's a wonderful picture. So it's
Flip on the light over there.
They can pour it.
But one, two,
Yeah, the things that's all kinds of stuff.
these two, these two.
We're gonna have to get one of these.
These two's good.
All
Oh, go get the
so
picture.
let's,
You gotta get in the picture.
let me get I need people on this side.
Part of it. You go get in the picture. Oh, no, I don't.
Yeah, you get to be in the picture.
Wait, then how do I work this thing?
Come on, this side.
Okay, wait a minute. Let's bring the camera up. Got it? Okay. Hands up. Joshua. All right, everybody ready? 1, 2, 3. Let me take one more James smile. That was the best thing
He's doing kung fu over
No, I
there.
don't know what he was doing, but it's cute.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful.
You know, like,
Okay.
me either. I'm not very cool with you. Pictures are anytime. Oh, is it? Yeah, you want to-
Is it still on?
Is there any ritual to this?
Oh, it's a fucking mini.
You just think.
Oh,
Yeah.